In life, things get thrown at us at the most unexpected times. We lean on the ones closest to us to overcome certain feelings and emotions, but sometimes people choose to isolate themselves when things get tough. They don't want to talk about their feelings because it makes them feel uncomfortable and they avoid it at all costs. Although people choose to detach themselves and think that that is what they want, in reality, when you isolate yourself and choose not to talk about the sad feelings that have overcome you, it makes things worse. Having a strong community and support group is necessary when getting over loss. How has community helped you get over loss?
Okay, hi, I'm Krista, and for me, last year, during second semester, my grandmother passed away, and I was really close with her, but at that same time, my friends and I were going through a really rough patch, and one of my best friends, I thought, she was I don't want to say bullying, but she was bullying me, and so it really extended her death period for me recovering from it a lot longer than it probably should have. And so from that, I learned that community really helps get over loss, because after that time period where my grandma passed away and my friends weren't really there for me, and then I actually made new friends, and I made a really new good support group like Lauren and all my other friends. I was able to overcome that and completely heal from losing her a lot quicker than I would have if I didn't have that support group with me.
When you surround yourself by the ones who love you the most, it makes life easier. Your community is who you rely on, and without a community, isolation overcomes you. We also see this in Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. When Oscar loses his dad, he doesn't want to talk about it with anyone. He's overwhelmed with emotions and chooses to keep everything to himself, especially when it comes down to talking about it with his mom, the one who loves him most. When he goes out searching for answers, he makes many friends along his journey. I remember spending an afternoon with Mr. Richter in the Central Park Zoo. I went weighted down with food for the animals. Only someone who'd never been an animal would put up a sign saying not to feed them, Mr. Richter told a joke. I tossed hamburger to the lions. He rattled the cages with his laughter. The animal went to the corners. We laughed and laughed, together and separately, out loud and silently. We were determined to ignore whatever needed to be ignored, to build a new world from nothing if nothing in our world could be salvaged. It was one of the best days of my life, a day during which I lived my life and didn't think about my life at all. This quote shows us how important it is to have strong connections with others, because they are the ones that will help you get over the loss of a loved one. Oscar formed a new community, and we realized through this that community is necessary for the grieving process, and making new friends is very beneficial. He creates his own community among the people he meets and finds the answers he is looking for. Without the support from his friends and new community, he wouldn't have been able to heal from the loss he experienced.
I have a new perspective to be able to recognise and appreciate these small, but not inconsequential, human elements of connection. I've been kissed by a stranger on the cheek in a doctor's waiting room. I've hugged and cried together with mums in the park I've only just met. I've listened to a nurse tell me about her experience of losing her children, and seen the bare-faced exhaustion, love and fear on faces in paediatric wards and at the children's hospice we attend. Within our communities, both virtually and locally, we experience deeper connections and love we would never have known if Mia wasn't dying.
This example teaches us that no matter what your circumstances, the connection you make with others will help ease the pain of losing a loved one. Everyone experiences it, and it is important that you find people to go through the journey with you. In the book, A Thousand Splendid Suns, both Miriam and Layla experience loss of a loved one. By the structure of their society, women are more isolated, and when they go through this loss alone, they struggle. Miriam lost family throughout the book, first being her mom from suicide, and then found out her dad died years later. There was a pause. He says he died years ago, back in 1987. Miriam's stomach fell. It's not easy for anyone to hear these words, but things do get better with time if you have the right people to help you. Miriam had little family to begin with, so when she lost the one she had, especially her mom, it was very difficult. Connecting with Layla during this hardship made the situation easier. Layla loses her two brothers at war as well as her mom and dad. When they find each other, they can relate to the loss they both experienced and help each other along the way. Human connections here are key, and without each other, they wouldn't have been able to help one another cope with the loss in their lives. Community and human connections is the number one thing when getting over the loss of a loved one.